Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to be starting a new repair. It's Saturday, August the 28th. So on the bench right now I have a Midway Discs of Tron. Discs of Tron on the metal rack. We got some garbage things there. These things are going bye-bye. This is filthy dirty. So first thing we'll do, broken cap. The first thing that we will do is take this thing apart. I'm going to wash the metal rack. I need to take some pictures of this. Make sure I know how this goes back together, because this is my first experience with one of these metal racks, to be honest. So I will make sure I document to myself how this thing goes back together. Otherwise I may never get it back together right. So, alright, let me do that, get this thing apart and on the bench. And I think once I do that, I'll just do kind of a visual inspection of the boards a little bit. And then these things need to be washed, because this is, I don't know if you can see, this is an absolutely filthy dirty board set. So I will wash the boards and all of that. We'll go ahead and fire this thing up in as-is condition, but not with these on it. This isn't going to work with these junk things. I want to lay it out on the bench with good connectors and everything, and see if it does anything that way. The only thing that these things are good for is protecting these pins while this is in storage. That's really it. Because these things are no good. So, yep. So let me go ahead, take this thing all apart, get it on the bench, get my MCR harness stuff out, and see what we get. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. I almost just went back to bed, guys. Just hid under the covers and forgot about it. Oh my god, look at that thing. I think it's dead. I don't even want to mess with it. I don't even want to... Is it dead? Oh, what a weird way to die. Stupid spiders hanging out right there and just... Oh my goodness. I think it's dead. Gives me the absolute, just the creeps. That's a pretty good size one too. Damn. Alright. I'm going to gather myself back up. That just about ended my day right there. Running into that. Alright. I'll be back. I'm going to go spray that thing off with the hose. Goodness gracious. Alright, I got the boards hooked up. And this soundboard is a special soundboard. It's with panning, and it has an extra pin for my connector here. You can see. Yeah, see, it's got one extra pin. So I'm not going to hook that up. I'm going to have to look at the pinout and compare it to the regular board and see how I'm going to hook this up. If it's okay to have it slid one way or another, or do I have to make a new pin, a new header? You know, I'm just not hooking that up just yet. But we are ready to fire this thing up. You know, upside up. These are all how they should be. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Because they will smoke if they're not on right. Alright, it looks good to me. So let's go ahead and fire it up. We're on the far monitor, the G07. So I will go ahead and plug in the power supply and go for it. Let's just watch our... I don't even have the monitor plugged in. Let's just see if anything blows up. Let's watch up here and see if hopefully that stuff doesn't fry. And we are on. Something's wrong because I heard the power supply clicking. The power supply was clicking, which means there's a short. So what I want to do is I want to unhook this board. This board's usually the problem. So let's plug it in again and listen to the power supply, see if it clicks. That's working now. So this board has a short on it. It's powered up and I don't see any, there's no smoke, so I'll go ahead and plug in the monitor and see what it's looking like, if it's doing anything. Okay, I'm measuring our voltage and we are 5.02, which is good, but we get not a thing. So we have ourselves a dead board set. Completely dead. Awesome. Good stuff. What kind of EPROMs are these? Are those are 128s. Okay. And we have 2764s up here. But the program is in 128, so that basically equals 8 64s. Okay. We get nothing. Yeah, it's not doing jack. So, oh, you know what? My monitor's not hooked up. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I gotta hook I have my black and white hooked up from when I was working on Atari Football, so let me plug in this properly. Be right back. Alright, well, how about that? You hook up the video, right? And you get discs of Tron. Now, this game is played off of a mirror. So, it's mirrored. But the game itself, the board set is running. How about that? The only thing we have to work on is the soundboard. Yeah, that's awesome. So what I do want to do is I would like to clean up this board set. You know, it needs to be cleaned up. And yeah. And then I have to find the problem with this board. It's probably got one of those 12 volts shorted. Surprisingly, these aren't blowing up when it which is weird. Those normally will fry if you have a short over here, unless it's a 5 volt short. Who knows? We'll figure it out. First things first is I am going to take this thing all apart and clean these boards thoroughly, because they're too dirty, nasty. We want it looking good when it goes out, right? So working good and looking good, it's important. So we will go ahead and clean these up and be right back. This is just going to be a soundboard repair, is what it's going to turn out to be. So let me do that, and while I'm at it, I'm going to look at the schematic for this particular board, look at what this pinout is, and can I use my existing one, just shifted one pin, or do I have to repin a whole new header? So we'll figure it out. Okay, I cleaned the boards up all nicely. They're nice and clean now. This guy, the soundboard, I noticed there is some damage, and more than one of these caps has been clipped. So somebody was trying to fix a short or something. There's another one that's clipped up here. That one's not. But there's some damage here. You can see where something has hit across those traces and destroyed this chip. So I will replace that, and you know, I got to go through and just check for damage, and I'm going to go ahead and check for shorted chips or shorted caps too while I'm at it. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'll beep this all out and make sure there's. It looks like it's kind of a surface scratch. It might have went deeper though. I don't know yet. We'll find out. This guy has to be replaced, so I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Now that one broke. That broke that cap. Yeah, this hit something hit pretty good right there. So I'll go ahead and check that all out. Okay, I have removed everything that was damaged. It's this row of resistors right here, and there's another resistor that was damaged right underneath here. Remove that. That chip, I got to fix one trace. You can see where it's broke. Right here. That's the only trace that's broke. I beeped out all of this, and it's fine. Replace some capacitors, and I found the short. It's this cap right here. If I take the black lead wherever it may be, sorry, I should have been prepared, but yeah, this is the short. Yep. Okay, so I'll go ahead and replace the broken parts, replace the caps that are missing, and we should be ready to put it back together and fire it up. See what we get. But I do still have to investigate this. That plug. So I'll do that. I'll put this back together, and then I'll hook the board all up and just make sure that it works and doesn't make sure that it doesn't still not work, basically. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and repopulate and hook everything up and make sure that it'll run, which it should. Okay, we are back together, and I do have the soundboard hooked up. I went through and I reflowed all of the edge header pins. I reflowed all of the connecting header pins on the board set, and now you can see it's looking good. Our text is now it's upright now, but the text is mirrored because it does play off of a mirror. But with the soundboard hooked up, it now looks right. So that is looking great. Discs of Tron. So the only thing that remains now is I got to do sound test. I can do up, right, down, left controls and everything. I don't have a spinner. I don't have that little board, so I can't. You know, there's an actual circuit board that this goes to. It's on the spinner. It's a circuit board on the spinner, and I don't have a Tron spinner, so I can't test that function. But it's just one of those things. I'll test everything else, and if that don't work, then you know, I guess we'll deal with that. But chances are it'll be okay. But yeah, so I need to, like I said, I need to look into that connector, figure that out, and come back. So let me look into that, look into the pinout. I got to get the pinouts for the board and everything so we can do our sound checks. By the way, here's the resistors that I replaced. Those guys there, and that one underneath there, and these yellow caps are the new caps, and the chip is replaced and that trace fixed. Yeah, so alright, we will be back hopefully to test some sounds out. Okay, so I've got it all hooked up now, and this plug is the same, it just needs to be shifted over one pin. You can see the one pin right there out, so that pin is not used. And we come over and we got this guy set up here. We'll do our little sound tests and our little play tests. See what we got. What the dip switches are set at. I gotta hold this guitar joystick upside down because moving left moves you right because it's mirrored. HD resolution. See a Sark. Ah. Too bad this isn't the environmental and has the speech. This does not have speech. Actually, I think that's another board. Game over. Game over. Bing. Alright. Discs of Tron. And now, really all there is to do with that is I have to crimp, I have to make connectors for it. These are my test connectors. These are the ones I keep in my MCR harness bag. So I will have to crimp 5 of these for this board set, put it back on the rack, and then make sure it still works. So let's get to it. Okay, and we are mounted on the plate. I had to go to the hardware store and buy some 6x32 screws. And the pack, the shortest they had was 3/4, so I had to use my little screw cutters or whatever and cut them down to about a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's these guys right here that I had to go buy. They had the wrong screws in them. It was like a self-tapping, a bigger self-tapping screw. It wasn't right. So I got the right screws now. These things are mounted good. So I'll go ahead and I got to crimp up my interconnects. And once those are crimped up, then we should be good to go. I got the wrong board here. This is supposed to be the soundboard. I got the soundboard and this board flip-flopped, so I got to take it all apart and put it together correctly. Darn. Alright, I'll do that, and then I'll crimp those things up, and when we come back we'll be ready to fire it up. And here it is on the board, on the metal rack, with my newly crimped connectors on it. Those 2 and then 3 over here. And good to go. When it comes to the discs of Tron screen, you'll hear it go doo doo doo. It makes that noise when it right there. So this thing is good to go. Discs of Tron. Well, I cleaned this up really good. I had to repair this board. It had some bad parts. It had some damage on it. Some damaged parts. And then a good cleaning. Reflowing solder everywhere on all the connectors and header pins and stuff like that. Had to, of course, crimp new interconnects. That's always a must with MCR. And that's it. Got ourselves a Discs of Tron. Alright, that's going to wrap up this episode, guys. Thanks for watching, and thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Appreciate you all. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.